Hello, people. Welcome to Mundo Madness Monday. Mundo in the house. How you guys doing? Sorry, man. I just got out of work, so I'm a little rugged here. How you guys doing tonight? So we got a great little show. I mean, I suppose I hope people kind of like tonight's show because we're gonna be talking about some sound fonts tonight, and no, nothing real in particular, but I want to get some people's thoughts on some of their favorite fonts, some of their favorite font makers, and what their real thoughts are on tonight. For hey, Cincy, what's up, dude? How you doing, man? Good for you to be here, bro. Good for you to be here. Tonight, Mundo is taking a break from drinking, guys. I got some water tonight, so bear with me, but it's all good. Cheers, everybody. Even Mundo got to let his liver, rest a bit. So we're going to be talking about fonts tonight. And especially if everybody has their favorite fonts, their favorite font makers, and so forth. And I kind of get the feeling that um you have your these different. Hey, JJ, what up, JJ? Rudy's in the house. Hey, thank you, Rudy. Yes, sir. Drink one for me, my man. Drink one for me. I got some badass neighbors, guys. Badass. My crew is backing me up tonight. I got my crew. Cindy, you included in the crew, bro. Much love, bro. Much love. So, before I really get into the sound fonts and everything, I want to show you guys something right here. You see where my saber is right here, um Cincy sent me some really badass saber holders, man. And look at right there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Jeez. That looks so beautiful, right? Dude, Cincy, I can't thank you enough for those, bro. I mean, they look super, super awesome, man. Love them. Love them. Much love to you, bro. Much love to you. Yeah, dang. Okay, so let's get into the show. Where is R2? R2, are you hiding, R2? R2, I think R2 is hiding. I think R2 is hiding. Oh, there he is. What? You are? Yep. Oh, you're excited because you got some sound fonts, huh? I think when they uh I think when they made R2, R2 was put in with some sound fonts because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to push those buttons and have them. What up, Marina? How you doing, my mama? I can. It's time to chillax, huh? Huh? That's right, mama. Anyway, you guys crack me up. So going back to sound fonts, and I think sound fonts is a really important part of the lightsabers. The heart of the lightsaber, of course, is your soundboards. But without sound fonts, I don't think TK. Yo, what up, my bud? What up, TK in the house? TK in the house. Welcome, TK. I'm on the phone. I'm doing the show from the phone, dude. So I don't have the banners for you right now. I didn't really kind of I got to try to get some kind of something, man, where I can do all these banners and stuff without having to um go back and forth, because if I do the banners right now, man, I'll lose the show, so I don't want to lose the show. So anyway, hey Felicia, how you doing? Thank you for being here, guys. Yes, thank y'all so much for being on the show with me. So back to fonts. I want everybody's opinion, and especially your thoughts on fonts, on like who's your favorite font maker, who's your what is your all-time favorite fonts, um and where are your thoughts as far as certain certain fonts that you have for your sabers. Do you think that putting on certain fonts in your sabers will initially bring it more life, and especially for um, what you tend to like and what you tend to kind of like, I'm gonna put it on there just to put it on there because it's like everybody's putting it on there, or is it a font that is super unique that you believe that it is bringing more life to the saber? I mean, that's what I want to get. I want to get into the heart, and you got your different saber font makers, right? You got your font makers like Lord Blucko, Repulse, Link, right? Then you got Jay DeLorean, you got K Sith, you got One Sith, you got Mad Cow, you got Jedi FX, Nova Star. No, going to old school, man. Because I mean, these all of these different font makers, have a mission to bring us some good stuff within, within the community and so forth. They work so hard. Um, to get us these fonts, and I'm sure that it takes them, maybe a couple of hours, maybe if not more, depending if they're making a package. I mean, so I've seen some of these makers, these font makers, make a bunch of packages, and that who knows how long it can take to make one of these fonts or even a font package. And so I want to kind of get a little bit of everybody's thoughts on font makers and fonts tonight's show. So we'll see what happens. Now, and this is where a lot of those seasoned people and some of the ones that are just beginning out and so forth that have very few sabers, and like like myself right now, I'm learning about different fonts, and I'm learning certain things. Grayscale, let's see, Cindy says Grayscale makes some really cool non-canon fonts. Binary Dark and Protostar are two of the all-time favorites. Yeah, Cindy, cool. Yeah, he does, man. Grayscale makes some pretty good ones. Jada Lauren again too, and I'm glad you brought up Grayscale because when I was doing my list this afternoon, I was so in a hurry making. I just made a really short list, and I know I didn't get everybody on here that I could name and stuff like that. So and it fathoms me that how well-rounded some of these font makers can do these fonts and make these fonts, because in my opinion, and this is, and like I said, this is just my opinion, that when you get the right kind of font for your saber, it almost brings that saber to life, to fit who you really are, who you are. I mean, what emotion you're feeling, what's on your mind, and you go through these different fonts and you're playing around. Like for me, I grew up in the 80s. I mean, I was born in the 70s, and growing up to the 80s and 90s, and to me, all of the nostalgia. So one of my greatest fonts that I have on my lightsaber is the He-Man font by Novastar. And uh, I love the hell out of that damn thing. And of course, my childhood, going back to my childhood again, one of another favorite one that I just put on and not too long ago was by One Sith. I believe it is by One Sith. Is the Thundar the Barbarian. And man, yeah, TK. There's a lot of fonts, man. So it's crazy, right? You know, yeah, multiple chips. Yeah, of course. Of course. And that's the thing though. I mean, there is so many fonts and there's so many font makers that, and I think that there's a few that you might kind of come across that are almost the same, but there's just slight differences in very, very slight differences in them. And to me, having almost some of those same fonts that have the slight variations, it'd be kind of hard to choose from, because you wanna support your font makers, and you want to go through these different fonts and make sure that you can really enjoy them, and if you're gonna get to just get, that might be all right, but not, I mean, this and this and that. I mean, I think you need to get stuff that you would really enjoy within the saber, and bring that bring the soul to the saber, if you will, you know what I mean. You bring that soul to the saber with the font, um, with the type of board, and who you are. Some people enjoy the curved hilts, some people enjoy, the straight, some people enjoy the short and simple, some people enjoy, there's a variety of hilts, so there's a variety of fonts, and some fonts just make the saber itself, and I believe, like I said, if you put the right fonts on your lightsaber, your saber is going to be super, super awesome. TK says, "My Star Killers." Yeah, Star Killers are pretty cool, man. I have yet to get one, and I will acquire one eventually. Eventually. Eventually, I will acquire a Star Killer. So, until then, though, I'll have mine, and I will still continue to have mine even long before. I may end up being buried with my memory saber. I don't know yet. So that remains to be seen. But yeah, so like some of the fonts that I've been checking out, and of course, uh, Novastar has some really great fonts, and so does One Sith. And if you go to saberfont.com and check out like all the different fonts, and especially Rob Pet Cow, Mad Cow. Oh my God! Rob, he has some incredible sound fonts. Genesis Custom Sabers, if you will, and for those who don't know, and and if you go through, saberfont.com, and you check out his some of his saber fonts, um, you know, they are amazing, amazing fonts. And even Jesse's fonts are awesome. Link's fonts are awesome. I think I've got a couple of Link's fonts. I believe one of the fonts that I have was the Farm Boy font, I believe, and then one from for oh gosh, what is that other one? He had a few others. I don't think they have it on there right now, but man, they my brain's going 100 miles an hour. I can't even think right now. Cheers, guys. I'm gonna have to slow my brain down a little bit because my brain's going faster than my mouth is. um. Oh, and if anybody's been watching, Space's stuff, and you see, when Space Windu, and uh he had when they did the Gabe Saber, right? That had the Vendari. Chet, happy Mundo Monday, guy, dude. Thank you for being here, Chet. Welcome, welcome, dude. If you've been watching where Gabe was having some trouble with his saber, and but one of the fonts that he had on there was the Vendari sound font, right? I found that font very fascinating. So I really do want to acquire that font as well. And I think it would work well with my memory saber, even though I think my saber is going to be headed for like an 80s nostalgia type uh part of it. but but that particular font sounds so amazing that I think I have to put it at least on there. And I'm going to have to cap I think I'm gonna have to cap the fonts at probably 28 on that saber, and that is it. You know, no more than 28 fonts. I think right now I'm up to 22, but um, 22 is a good amount, and I know some people have a crazy amount of sound fonts just on one saber. But sometimes less is more. And if you really want to bring your saber to really be, if you have the soul for that. Titan, what up, buddy? You ain't late, man. Good to see you, buddy. You ain't late. You ain't late. No worries, bro. No worries, man. We're talking about sound fonts, guys. So chat and Titan, we're talking about sound fonts tonight. We're talking about what are your favorite some of your favorite font makers? What are some of your favorite fonts? What are your thoughts? Okay, and this goes to you guys too. I mean, um, everybody here in the chat, if you really can give me your thoughts on some of your favorite fonts, some of your favorite font makers, and whether you believe like some of the fonts can really bring the soul out of a saber. Like me, I believe that but between the board it has, the sound font it has, and its wielder, the you know, the saber has a certain soul to it. And that to me is where what it's all about, right, guys? I mean, you want something that's going to bring you a lot of joy. I'm a fan of Mountain Saber fonts. Good stuff. Thank you for Chet. I appreciate that in because I did a really short, quick list this afternoon, and I didn't get a whole lot of time to really put some font makers on there. A whole lot. Some I did, but like I ran out of time to try to do my list. So thank you for bringing up Mountain Sabers because yes, he's doing some amazing work and amazing sound fonts as well. And I'm gonna have to go through some more of his sound fonts. I've only gone through them briefly, and I really haven't. See, I haven't really researched a whole lot of fonts, and like Titan and Chat, I was telling everybody that my memory saber is turning into an '80s nostalgic saber at that because my friend and I both grew up at the same time in that era, and it's like, but two of the fonts that I have put on that saber, and during the time of my childhood, I had which Thundar the Barbarian, and so I put that font on there, and then of course He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe, right? So two of my favorite things watching as I was growing up and so forth. Yes, TK, definitely smooth swing launches everything. Yes, smooth swing all the way, dude. Smooth swing all the way. You can't go wrong with smooth swing, right? You cannot go wrong with smooth swing. So, and so, uh, to me, again, having some of these great font makers, how long does it really take them to make one font? Intimidation, really? TK, seriously? Intimidation. How it it fathoms me how long it can take some of these font makers to make some of these fonts if they're starting from scratch and if they're looking up the material. How long does it take to look up material to look up some of these sound bites to make these fonts, right? And then once they find something they like and then they work with it or work around with it or even just trying to get to the nitty gritty part of it, right? Yeah, Titan. Cool, man. Yeah, one of my favorite cartoons, right? I mean, you see it now as as an adult. You're like, oh my god, you really? But at the same time, it brings back so many memories. You're like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna watch it, man. I'll watch it over and over again. As cheesy as it may, some of uh, the way they talk sometimes, you're like, oh, I think that actor could have done that voiceover actor could have done a little bit better job, right? But for the era and for the time I think it was just ahead of its time for what they did in there, and the storylines were pretty good as well. So you have to give kudos to that, right? So imagine a Thundar movie. Oh my god, dude! I think that would be freaking awesome, man. And to to see what how they would make his light sword be unbelievable on screen now. T- Titan, dude. Oh man, you got my head spinning around that one. But sadly, I don't think they'll ever do it unless somebody decides that it would be a better thing. I think I don't think it would be like the level of Conan, but it would really. Hey, Paige, how you doing, Mama? Oh, thank you, thank you for coming. Thank you for being on here. Um, so I don't, with the Thunder, it would be so badass, but I don't think that they would actually put it in partial to Conan the Barbarian because it's such a live action. I don't know. It may turn out better than that. It may turn out just as good. So Titan, yeah, dude. I hope somebody pays attention to this and sends it upstairs, man. Maybe somebody will see this one day and say, "Oh, dude, we need to make a movie of that." That'd be really freaking cool, man. Okay, so Grayscale and Mandalorian, and I don't know. Have any of you actually gone on the font saberfont.com and actually checked out all of the fonts, or have you checked out like most of the fonts? I don't know if any of you all have checked out uh Jedi FX over there on saberfont.com. He's got the one that's called the Celtic Jedi. And even Benji, he showed that one off too. And that one's a great font, man. I For anybody who doesn't know what that font is, that font was based on the Highlander, the movie. And it's got some great quotes, and it is too cool of a font. I mean, I really enjoy it as well. Um, so there you've got an '80s movie, right? And I got '80s cartoons. So yeah, man. Again, my saber starts turning into an '80s memorabilia type. So saber, gotta love it though. You gotta love it, right? Oh, Titan. No, sadly. Titan, you TK, man. No worries, bro. No worries. You'll get there. You'll get there, man. You'll get some. All you gotta do is look it up, man. No worries. And they got some really great stuff. I mean, there is so many font makers on there. It is unbelievable. So, but you got so many font makers all over the place, and so, but not everybody is on um saberfont.com, and some of them, they have their own pages, and especially like, Ksith and a few others. um they there I failed you. No, you did not fail, buddy. TK, you did not fail. You just haven't got there yet, man. That's all it is, dude. Ain't no failure. Ain't no failure. BK Saber sounds. Oh yeah, dude. Case has just dropped a few new bangers this month, man. Really good stuff. Cool, man. BK, thanks for stopping by, dude. And yeah, oh man, I'm gonna have to check them out, dude. I am definitely gonna have to check them out, man. So, what we're discussing, and I don't know if how much you've heard already, BK, but talking about, as far as font makers go, and how long would it take, somebody to make a font? How long how much time do they have invested in a particular font? What their research is for the fonts? Because it has to be, I mean, I would say some of the fun of the font making is researching some of the different quotes from movies or different quotes from books or audio books or even the TV shows and so forth. It's got to be kind of part of the fun. And then you also have, I mean, there's a lot of work involved with it as well because utilizing all the different technology and all the different programs, having to maybe save this particular sound, save this particular clip, save this particular um line and so forth, and then put everything together with the hums, with the swings, with so forth, and then you have the different sounds, and then you have, you know, on top of that, and now we have, blade profiles to go along with the fonts. And that to me, and that adds more of the soul to the saber as well, because when you put everything together and it brings it like, and I'm repeating myself over and over, and I do apologize. It's kind of hard to turn it off from work sometimes, so especially this late, because I haven't had time to kind of, sit down and work some things out and stuff. But let's see. TK says, "Where's Kev at? That's my pup for the year." Kev's probably he's asleep right now, man. I hope he's watching this though, man. But I'm gonna have to do another show another time. Maybe next Mundo Monday I'll kind of work on the comic, man. Uh, and we'll do a little comic stuff for next Mundo Monday. But tonight I was talking about I'm talking about some fonts and saber fonts, and we're doing a little bit of saber stuff here for the civilized saber stuff. So um, and yeah, so they may be kind of busy, TK. Oh, I know, man. I know you having fun. It'd be kind of hard for him to hear you though. I don't know. Maybe he will poke him, see what happens. Maybe he'll poke back, right? So, yeah, going back to the fonts again, man. To me, the like I said, some of the some of those sound fonts actually bring really good life soul to your sabers, and especially if you have such unique sabers. Gabe ever gets his profi saber working. BK. I love that. And he will, dude, and he will. He's adamant about it. They're working on. As a matter of fact, I think that's probably why they're not on right now, is because they're working on it, bro. They're working on it. He's gone over the spaces quite a bit, so they get. But him and Dave, and I'm pretty sure that they're getting all his saber together so that by they'll probably get ready to put another video out, and he'll show off the saber and all that good stuff. About to pop open my second beer. Oh, Rudy, thank you, man. Right. See? My homeboys, my neighbors, they take care of me, bro. Even if I can't drink for one night, they'll drink for me. How about that? That's good stuff, right? Um, so yeah, man, Jay DeLorean's got some good stuff, and like Crispy, and I think Decay was a good one. Let's see. He had a few others on there that were pretty decent, I think. And um, Lord Blocko's got some really good stuff. Force. Oh my gosh, Force has got some really good stuff as well. Force, I believe, I think it was him that has Over My Helmet, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I just barely had enough time to get my shit together, and I didn't get do too good of a job. But um, I do believe that Force has Over My Helmet, and that was hilarious as hell. I think I'm gonna put that one on my saber, the memory saber as well. That's too funny though. It is too funny. I was listening to it, and oh my god. So now you're gonna have now I have the Over My Helmet with that saber. So now when you watch Spaceballs, gotta have the saber and turn on that font, right? Right, guys? Dude, I think that'd be too hilarious. R2D2 opportunity for buttons and C3PO. Yeah. Yep. What do you think? Yeah? You agree with him? Yeah? Oh, really? Okay. So yeah, R2 agrees with you, TK. Yep. And C3P as well. So we got to get some of these. I don't think I'll be able to, man, but I think C3PO would be funny for the show. Maybe I can get a size of C3PO the size of R2 right here, man. I think that'd be crazy for the show. What do you think, guys? Oh, but I might have to plug the professor into the back. He may not shut up for the show, right? He may not shut up for the show. And then he'll give us all these different odds. And then nah. Man, he might steal the show from me. He might steal the show from me, guys. And that's the thing. TK, maybe you're onto something, dude. I don't think, and I have not heard, and I could be wrong, but I have not heard a C3PO font. So, as many as I've actually researched and listened to, I have yet to hear a C3PO font. So maybe I'm giving some ideas to guys out here, listening tonight. So if any of you font makers out there are listening, um, let's see what you can come up with as far as a C3PO font. May not be, could be a hilarious one. Could be like, maybe hit or miss. Who knows? Who knows, man? But yeah, it is unbelievable. And you know, one of the things that I do know, and there's some fonts, and I that used to be on saberfont.com, and they're not there anymore. And especially, I think a few of Novastars are kind of not there, like the Flux Power Ripple. I have not seen that font on saberfont.com, but I went and I was watching a lot of Saber fonts on YouTube, and oh my God, some of them sound like where can I find these? And I just can't find them anywhere. So it is unreal, and it is unreal that some of them have been taken off, and of course, yeah, even Shamim have made a few, really awesome fonts, and they're no longer available. And to this day, I kind of wish I had some of his fonts, and I think that would be really, awesome to have. But unfortunately, I can't get a hold of any of them. Chet says correct. Fours made Over My Helmet, and he also had a Scott Pilgrim font. Yeah, okay, good. So I was correct. Okay, thank you. It's Scott Pilgrim. I haven't heard that one. So I need to check that one out and see if that one is pretty hilarious because Over My Helmet was just too funny, man. And I think it'd be funny. You got a little party coming on, watching Spaceballs, and then you throw out that saber font on your saber from over my helmet. I think that would be hilarious. It'd be a good time, right? You got all these saber guys, and then you throw over my helmet, and everybody's busting the gut, dude. Busting the gut, right? Yeah. TK, we'll be the first ones to make them, right? Right. I mean, it's unbelievable how many things that you can come up with for a font, and eventually you'll see these fonts out. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I mean, um, and especially like I've seen. Oh, sorry guys, my dog's going a little nuts outside for whatever reason. So forgive me. And BK's, I see your smarts is as big as mine. Yeah. That is absolutely hilarious, man. I love that quote. That's too funny of a quote. You know, and for them to make fun of Star Wars that way, John Candy, he really killed it, man. Well, all of the actors there, they did a damn good job. They made fun of so many movies and so many things. Uh, for you not to laugh at those things, and M- Mel really did a wonderful job having all of not only did he direct it, but I mean also starring in it. I mean, he had so many roles into that movie that he really did well. And it's stuff like that gets appreciated, and especially a parody of Star Wars. And there's not too many things that can actually come and work really well, right? And so and I and BK, doesn't he have that quote in there? May the Schwartz be with you. I think it's in there. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and listen to it again. That would be another, great little quote there but I believe it might be on it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but um, and then you have, like I said, going back to one of Jedi FX's fonts that I really enjoyed, which was from the um, Highlander movie. Uh, and that one was called the Celtic Jedi. So that one was really enjoyable. And Christopher Lambert, had a couple of quotes in there. And then I forgot the name of Jedi FX, but man, he did that font so well, and I love the way it sounds, the hum and everything all together sounds pretty fantastic. And then you also had Chansey, or Clancy, I believe his name was, do that, uh, do one of his quotes there, and where he goes, "The Gathering," and that was pretty cool in itself, right? To quote him, and and so, um, and I also enjoyed Hoth, and like I said, a lot of Mad Cows. He's got some really cool fonts as well. Um, in his library. And for anybody who hasn't checked out Genesis Custom Sabers fonts, he's got some really great ones. And I really enjoyed listening to some of those. Uh, I know and I think, if I'm correct, that Hoth is uh, one of the Saber fonts that comes stock onto the CFX package that you get when you buy the CFX now, and that is pretty cool in itself. Um, one of the other fonts that I did get, I believe, I was the like I was saying, um, was the Farm Boy, and then also, yeah, what? Let's see, Master Windu. We are peacekeepers. You know, I forgot the name of the font, so I am so sorry, guys. Like I said, my brain's going 100 miles an hour. I'm trying to slow it down so I can make sure that I get these right. But forgive me if I don't. So again, who are some of your favorite font makers, guys? Who are your font makers that you absolutely enjoy or you have more than any other font maker? You know, and I'm sure you got some that are, you got to support your buds, right? You got to support your buds. And to me, that is always the best kind of things, right? Honestly, I would love a Vader saber made as Spaceballs. Oh, dude, TK, yeah, right? That'd be kind of cool. That is a good idea, dude. That is a good idea, man. That would be kicking. That would be kicking. So, back to fonts. Your favorite fonts, or you know what? Your favorite font makers, okay? Who do you lean to more Who do you lean to more in terms of your favorite font makers as opposed to the ones that you kind of like maybe have one or two fonts from? Let's get into that one because um everybody's different. Sometimes you put like three or four. Let's say somebody puts three or four Lord Blockos, and then you got one or two of links, repulses, and then you got maybe one of fours. Or now, is the type of font that you get, um in the order that you put them in, is the order more important than the type of font you get, or is it the type of font that you get more important than the order in the saber? Because again, you're bringing that saber to life. You're bringing the soul out of that saber. So in terms of bringing that soul, in terms of getting your saber to represent who you are, what would be more important in terms of the type of fonts, or maybe the amount of fonts, or even maybe the you know uh uh the font maker itself, that you really enjoy. So those type of things right there, really taking care for everything. I love everybody and everything, man. So to me, I wish I could get them all, but unfortunately that's not possible. I'd get every font I could if I could, but man, unfortunately it's not possible right now. So um but I mean, I enjoy a lot of Jesse's Kyberphonics, fonts, and then there's just so many to go through. And then there's some doozies. There's some doozies too. You know, I have fonts from just about everyone now. Some say I have a problem. Laugh out loud. I just rotate fonts on my sabers when I want to play with them. Dude, there ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Cinzy. You got funds from everybody. See, that's good though. It's good to have a library and to do that too, because um again, there's some people like, that have told me that they'll put a certain font on their saber, and 2 weeks later they're like, well, wait a minute. I thought I liked it, but I gotta change it. I gotta change it because it's just not, you know, it ain't jiving with what I'm looking at, or what I thought was what it was. So again, there's another fact, and there's another form right there where people kind of like think that a certain font goes well with this, and it really just it's lackluster. It's lackluster. And although maybe at the moment it was the right font at the right time at that particular moment, and then later on when you hear that font again at a different particular moment, maybe that particular moment was just like, it's lackluster. I mean, Okay, yeah, I got to change it out, put it. And again, I kind of feel that sometimes, the saber design uh has to do a lot with what kind of fonts you put on your saber. Um, so again, there's another part of who you are at the time, at the moment, where you put a certain fonts on a certain saber design. And again, we go back like let's take the Graphics for instance, right? Let's see, Keenan TK goes sound quality and dialing, but I'm not God to speak on who to say right now. You're so yeah, TK. Yeah. Well, I mean, come on, like that's another thing. It's like the Graphics. Okay, we're talking about the Graphics, and in the Graphics, you have certain quotes from the original trilogies, right? So the original trilogy fonts really bring out the soul of the Graphics because, and even, I mean, it's not the only thing that brings out the soul of the Graphics. Don't get me wrong, because in another show, we need to talk about chassis as well. So chassis also bring another part of the sabers that bring the whole thing to life. But tonight we're just talking like a portion of what really brings the soul out of a saber. And for those you again, the design of the saber and the quality and design of the font. Um, sorry, dueling. Yeah, darling. No worries, TK, man. No worries, bro. So the design of the font and the design of the saber really has um an impact on what you really enjoy as far as the whole saber goes, right? So do you think um let's take some shelf queens for instance, okay? You got some shelf queens that really let's say they don't have any sound, there's no fonts. I mean, it's a good looking saber, but there's no sound fonts to it, and it rarely comes off the shelf. Looks really cool, but would it would it change the aspect of what it is if it had a chassis in it, if it had sound fonts to it? What would that saber be? Would that saber be more than a shelf queen? You know, would it give it even more life of a shelf queen if you still had it with certain fonts, right? So again, you're dealing with all kinds of aspects to the fonts, to the font makers. And again, well, let's go to font makers themselves because they put their heart and soul into these fonts. And with the heart and soul, comes a lot of love with some of these with a lot of these fonts because essentially the font makers are pouring out, their heart, their soul, their feeling, and everything that they're putting into these fonts. So you can actually feel a lot of the love, if it's a really good quality font. That sorry. He's getting a little anxious outside and people are kind of passing by, so he's like, he wants maybe he wants to be on here as well. My poor doggy. So the like I said, the font makers, they put their heart, their soul, their love in it, and you can tell with these kind of fonts how good of a quality a font comes out on how much love they put into it. Because if they're willing to work hard and put hours into it, then yeah, they capture that moment, right, Felicia? I mean, it's capturing a moment, a feeling, honestly. Yeah, it really is. And it makes you feel awesome, right? Oh, thank you, Rudy. Thank you, buddy. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. it really makes you feel, in that moment. I mean, like I said, Forge with the over my helmet, it's gonna make you laugh at that time. Like I said, in that moment, it's gonna make you laugh. Um, with some of these other fonts, you get that feeling from them. You get what they were trying to portray in those fonts, and and especially some of the quotes that they have on there, and some of your most famous, like Luke Skywalker, his quotes, like I'm a Jedi, like my father before me. I mean, to quote that. So at that moment, you know, that quote. When you hear that quote, you feel like you're right there watching that, the movie, and you're seeing that scene when you hear that quote in your saber. I love how the blade effect and font come together, and it's like, wow. Yes. Yeah, Felicia. That's another one of my points tonight, because you have these amazing blade styles that go with these fonts. And I think that just a plain blade, without all the craziness and everything, you have great film fonts. But again, the blade styles bring these fonts to life as well, because then you got the fire flame blade, you right? You got your solid blade, then you got, your unstable blade. So you got all these different styles of blades that go with all these different styles of fonts, and that just brings everything together, to make one cohesive product come to life. And that, my friends, is what we look for. That is what we enjoy. I heard some great sounds from Blue Force Company. Man, powerful sounding fonts. Yeah, Titan. I have. Thank you. That's another one that I forgot to mention tonight, that I didn't get it to write down. So thank you, Titan, for mentioning them, because yeah, Blue Force has some pretty good sounding stuff as well. I watched quite a few of their videos on YouTube, and they sound amazing. They sound amazing, and there are so many amazing people with such great fonts, man. And it's hard to just pick one or two from here and one or two from there, and then by the time you know it, you have a whole library full. I believe one of these days I'm gonna have a whole external a whole external drive full of fonts, man. Man, I'm gonna be like Cincy. I'm gonna have a one big gigantic external hard drive full of fonts, man, that I can just go through. And then if there might be a few where I might have to delete, just so I can put some new ones in there. Some outdated ones. Get them in with the new shit, right? Get them in with the new shit. And then there's also some stuff that's been redone, but remastered. And those, you still have to enjoy those as well, because some people, a little bit behind on stuff, and they have different things. Laugh my ass off. You're not too far off from the truth. You and me both, Cincy. You and me both, man. Look, dude. Mine right here. Here's mine right here. This is a 2 gig, man. 2 gigs right there, dude. So, man, that's funny. But yeah, again, like I said, the fonts, I think, bring a lot of the fonts bring it. If I'm not wrong, okay, and Cincy, correct me if I'm wrong, but you enjoy certain fonts within your sabers, right? You enjoy some more than others, and then you also have certain fonts for different hilts. If I'm correct. or I mean, I could be wrong, but you know, if you have two or three hilts, and then you've got you know, maybe 10 or 12 fonts on one saber, then you got, you know, 15 or 20 on the other, but they're all totally different, right? They're not the same font for the different sabers. And you know, so I think some people do put like some of the same fonts on each and every saber they have. And you know, I think that's kind of cool, but then, you know, that'd be like eating, you know, the same kind of meal all week long, right? I mean, that's what. Oh yeah, sure. Some phones fit, some hills better. Yeah, see, so changing your fonts out, but having different fonts and having different sabers and the different fonts that go with the saber, I think it's kind of like you have your different meals throughout the week, right? You're eating different foods throughout the week, Monday through Friday. And then you have your, let's say you have your different hilts Monday through Friday, but each one of them has a certain set of fonts. And so, you know, Monday you're going to have your Star Killer. Tuesday you'll have your Graphics. Then Thursday you'll have a Dooku, you know, and then Friday, let's say you might have a a Luke, you know, creepy uncle, you know, then you have all these different hilts, and in that, you know, you have all of these different things, different hilts with different sounds, different fonts, and that you get to choose throughout the week on what you're going to go with your meal, right? So to speak, so to speak. So don't take that literally, guys. Don't take that literally, okay? Felicia goes, I think your question about a shelf queen, the font does make it better because it sure looks amazing. But wait, there's more. Watch what it can do. Yeah. Pulls out the kilty. Yes. You see? So, you know, if you got one that just doesn't have anything in it and it's and it DK, you know, you know, if you have one and it's just there. I mean, you can't do anything with it. Eh, you know, it's like I like it. I love it the way it looks, but it can be the potential of it is like right on the edge, right on the edge. The potential is right on the edge. So that and everybody's different again, like I said, everybody's different, everybody's got different tastes, everybody's got different sound fonts, everybody's got different sabers, everybody's got some of the same sabers. So, you know, to each his own, to each his own, and have the enjoyment of the love that comes from these sound fonts. Have the enjoyment that goes along with the hilt itself, right? And but the enjoyment, you know, if you support your local font, you know, font makers, support the font makers, and you know, let's do away with these piracy type things. You know, I mean, don't even think about it. Don't even, you know, we need to support the font makers with all the hard work that they put into, and people want to kind of take away from that when you have these piracy type things. And we, you know, for the people that take away from that, you know, they're taking away their livelihood as well because you know, you work your butt off to bring people joy and everything. And then you got people that are trying to steal it from, you know, this and that. You know, it's just not cool, man. It's just not cool. Support these guys. I mean, they're doing it to make you happy, to have your enjoyment with the, you know, with the community, and it's all love. I mean, it's all love. So you know, let's support all these guys. You know, let's support all these guys and keep them making some badass fonts. And you know, uh, I think in the long run, when everybody gets on the same page, hopefully everybody will get on the same page, and that we'll have a lot more enjoyment as well. But for right now, I think everybody is on the same page of having the enjoyment of all the saber fonts and all the sabers, and the love of the community, the love for helping each other out with your builds. To quote, hashtag nerd up, man. Jeff, that's for you, buddy. Hashtag nerd up, right? So keep it real, keep it cool, keep it fun, keep these guys supported. You know, let's take care of each other within this community, because there's a lot of fun to be had. There's a lot of more sound funds to come our way, and uh I couldn't be more proud to be in this kind of community, and even I could not be even more prouder to have the neighbors that I have, to support me as well. Um, I couldn't be more proud to be a part of Civilized Sabers, with Space Windu, Anthony, and Gabe, Harris, all of these guys, that are allowing me to make this video, and let me run a few things while they take care of things in the background, while Space is doing his blades and so forth. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe to Civilized Sabers if you like the content that Anthony puts out. If you like what I do, Mundo Cabrera, and here at Civilized Sabers, or on the Mundo channel, at Mundo Cabrera 07007. And so, um, like I said again, like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. I would appreciate that. And, I appreciate all of you guys, Marina, Rudy, Paige, TK. I mean, oh my gosh, Cinzy, you guys are amazing. Felicia, Titan, BK, man, oh, Chet. I mean, all you guys, I can't thank you enough for being here, being on with me. And, to me, it means a whole lot. And I'm hoping, oops, sorry guys. I am so hoping that, that I bring a little bit of, I think, bring a little bit of joy, and bring a little bit of fun, bring a little bit of everything, information to, this part, this small part that I play, right? Because I'm just a small part. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Felicia, uh, been in, and man, I ain't changing. Thanks, Felicia. I appreciate that, Mama. But yeah, I mean, I live for keeping people, putting smiles on people's faces, and that um, I hope that maybe one day everybody's gonna get to the point where, yeah, I mean, there's just nothing but love, I mean, unfortunately, it's not gonna, unfortunately, it may not happen, but we have so much love for this, for Star Wars, for lightsabers, for all of this right now. And I mean, it is so cool to be part of. Life is too short. Take advantage of it and have fun, because I mean, that's all we have. We have each other, we have life, have fun, live your life. I mean, that's all we can do, right, guys? So for Mundo and Civilized Sabers and all of you guys, love you all very much. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna try to see about next week. Maybe next week I will do the comic book stuff. So I might get some material together if I can. Until then, Mundo out. Peace.
In here, we pour whiskey.